Well, this is a weird, unexpected video. I'm recording on my phone and I am in my new bed. This bed is causing me a lot of problems. Hi, if you are new here, I am Mare and I'm a retired makeup artist, esthetician, nail tech, and hairstylist. You wouldn't know by the messy hair. Now I live on a mountain in the middle of nowhere with this amazing new bed. This thing is so gorgeous. If you hear a weird creaking sound, that is my tripod that my phone is on. Oh my God. So my phone is on a tripod, but I have it on the bed. And do you know what it's trying to set a phone up on a mattress with a bunch of cushy blankets? Okay, I'm not holding it. It's right there. There's a good chance that the dogs are going to knock it over. Casper and Enid are up on the front of the bed. Eliza is next to me over here. My husband is downstairs in his office right now, so I just wanted to record this really quick. You guys, this bed is my Valentine's Day gift. See this cool door up here? Okay, let's see. Can I show you this? So it's a vlog called Meet My New Bed. So there's these slidey things. Look. So there's a cabinet over there, and then there's this one that has 2 levels. I have tissues in here because I am constantly sneezing. My allergies are so bad. And books here. And then this side, which is my side of the bed, has my tea right here and on a little coaster. And this is my side. And my boys' pictures are in here, Voodoo and Dude. My reading light is in here, my face mask. I have hand cream, lens wipes, because I'm always reading or something and I'm like smudging up my glasses. Now this is a collection of books that, hold on, I gotta scooch over so you can see it. Books that I am currently working on reading through. Oh, and I also have my reading glasses in here. So, little face mask. I really don't want anything up here with the pictures of... Oh, this is Enid's dragon. Enid's Mr. Dragon. I have to keep the dragon hidden. Otherwise, what is my hair doing? Casper will steal Enid's dragon and chew his ears off and destroy him. So, he's staying hidden in here. Speaking of Casper... Ah, you're right on... He's standing right on my kneecap. Really? Really? Hello. Okay, you're on Mommy's kneecap, sweetheart. You can't hear me, I know. We're talking about books right now. With like the most random, weird video ever. But I wanted to put something up tonight. But I'm also just kind of chilling because I had makeup videos that I had to record for the next couple of days. But I still wanted to put something up today. But Tuesday is traditionally kind of like a not a lot of views day. I was going to do like a makeup video today, but I did 2 makeup looks yesterday, and I have a makeup look coming tomorrow and one on Thursday and probably on Friday and maybe throughout the weekend. Who knows? I really got to do something with this hair. First thing in the morning, I'm going to shower, so I really don't care what my hair looks like. He's trying to jump up. There he is. Hello, Mr. Man. Would you like to discuss books with us? So, here's the thing. Let's talk about this bed and books, the book bed. I have a second channel that nobody knows about yet because I just started it. I just made it up, and are you going to help me with it? And I don't know what I want to call it yet. It has a working name, and I'm not even going to announce it or share it yet because I don't want everybody to go over and start, like, you don't have to go subscribe to it yet. Eventually, I'm going to be like, if you like books, come on over there and subscribe to my Booktube channel. Here's the thing. I am doing the Goodreads 2025 challenge, which means you read a certain, you set a goal for how many books you want to read in a year. Last year, I was into books, but I wish you could see what's... He's... Okay, Casper's under the blanket now. My wax melter's on, but I blew my candles out. last summer I read a lot of books, but I never put them on my Goodreads. I never went in there and took the time to go, I read this book, I read this book. I went after the fact and put a bunch of them in that I read. But I have a lot of books, a lot of books. I have a big bookcase over there. There's a bookcase in our guest room. It's actually a desk that is built out of bookcases. It's very cool. So most of my books are in there. I have this bookcase here. My husband has a bookcase down in his office. We are huge book nerds. I always have been. Cute little story. I think I said this in a vlog. When I was a kid, I got indoctrinated by the Scholastic Book Fair. That was the big thing. It was the Scholastic Book Fair was the big thing that, oh my God. And my mom, I was always a reader. My mom encouraged me to read. She read to me every night. And I started reading. I could read before I went into kindergarten, like well before. I could barely talk, but I could read books because I was a mimic. So my mom would read the book and I would read it back to her, and I had no idea that I was reading. I was just reciting the story back. My mom very wisely started pointing out the words I was saying on the page. But I've talked about it before, but I have a photographic memory, which is really weird. It's a weird thing to live with. I don't talk about it a lot, but it's a blessing and a curse. But I have so much stuff in my head and so much stuff I remember. I forget stupid things, but I remember like I remember dumb things I don't need to remember, and I forget all the important things. But my mom realized that, like, the way she found out was I was like, I don't know, between 3 and 4 years old, and I was still in a crib. That's how young I was, because she has a picture of me somewhere. There's a picture of me sitting in my crib reading. I'll see if I can find the picture. I don't know if I have it. It might be lost to the ages with my family somewhere. But there was a picture of me sitting in bed reading. And I'm going to see if I can find it, but I don't think I have that picture. It was in like a family album, and I don't know who has those. My brother Bob might. But I wish I had that picture. I hope I do, but I don't think I do. But anyway, I'm sitting in a crib, and I'm reading a book. And my hair is like down to here, and I had little bangs. And I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. So it was crazy. But my mom would sit and read to me, and then she would put me in my crib, and I would say, read to me again, read to me again. And my mom's like, oh, for the love of it. She would leave me the book. She's like, look, here's the book. Read it yourself. I'm not reading anymore. And so she walked out of the room, and then she walked back in, and I was reading the book. And I started on the first page, and I was reciting the book from memory, completely from memory, and flipping the pages and saying, and then this happened, and flipping the page, and then this happened, and this is who this is, flip the page. My mom said her mind was like blown. She was like, holy crap, my kid's a genius. Not really. I just had a photographic memory, and I love books. I'm a little bit of a genius. I'm a tiny little bit of a genius. But the great thing was, there's two ways it could have gone. My mom did the best thing ever. She got so excited that I could read, like, and be that at that age I could read when other kids couldn't manage that at all. I was reading entire books. And what she did was she held the book, and she said, okay, tell me what's happening. And as I was saying the words, she was pointing out the words on the page. So I put together what I memorized with the words. That's how I learned to read super duper young. So I was reading like 2 to 3 levels above what my age was since I was a toddler. So I've always been crazy, crazy, crazy into books. In 6th grade, they didn't know what to do with me because I was reading at junior high school levels. They gave me to the librarian. And I worked with the librarian, and I worked in the library. And I remember in 6th grade, I read The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. Do with that what you will. When I was in 6th grade. Now, most kids back then in 6th grade would not be reading British plays by Oscar Wilde or literature. But I did. Anyway, I remember not completely understanding it because I was just having trouble with some of the words, like more like the British language. I know it's English, but British English was, you know, just the way they used words and everything and phrased. Anywho, I've just been so obsessed with reading ever since. So when I was a teenager, I couldn't drive yet, but I'd ride my bike up to this bookstore that was nearby. And the guy who owned the bookstore, he loved how passionate I was about books. So he was always showing me new books, talking to me about books, and it was very cool. And I got my first job when I was 16, working part-time. And every time I got paid, I would go to the bookstore and buy books. And my mom would, I was saving money to buy a base. There's two things I did. I bought a base, was like after my first year of working. I remember I was 16. I didn't even work a whole year, but I saved up and I bought a base. And the other thing I did was I bought books. And just occasionally, not tons, but I would buy like books now and then. And I remember my mom would get so mad at me. She's like, you're spending your whole paycheck on books. And she would nag at me about it. And then finally one day, I turned around and I looked at her and I said, would you rather I spend it on drugs and alcohol like other kids my age? Because I was very straight edge. I was a nerd. I was in 2 different honor societies. And I was like straight A student, honor society, blah, 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 all that, yeah, gifted child bullshit, which explains a lot of why I'm so messed up now. So yeah, she never bothered me after that when I said, would you rather I take my money and spend it on alcohol, cigarettes, or drugs? She's like, oh, nope, go ahead, buy your books. Go buy some more books. Buy all the books you want. I was a smartass even then. Anyway, so I am, of all these books that I want to read, this one's going to be hard. A Terrible Kindness by Jo Browning Rohr, W-R-O-E. This one, it's about okay, anybody watch The Crown? Did you watch The Crown? Do you remember the Aberfan? It's October 1966. William Lavery is having the night of his life at his first black tie do. As the evening unfolds, news hits of a landslide at a coal mine at Sperry to School, Aberfan. William decides he must act, so he stands and volunteers to attend. It will be his first job as an embalmer, and it will be one he never forgets. His work that night will force him to think about the little boy he was, the losses he has worked so hard to forget, but compassion can have surprising consequences because, as William discovers, giving so much to others can sometimes help us heal ourselves. And it says, a novel of healing and hope, a debut novel of quite exceptional promise. There's some weird car noises outside right now. Almost from the first pages of this moving read, I was filled by the big emotions brought on. I adored it. I mean, this is Observer Best Debut Novelist 2022. Exquisitely crafted, full of good things. So anyway, top 10 Sunday Times bestseller. So I wanted to read this. So I got this on Amazon, and I think I would have got this on, when I buy books on Amazon, I try to buy them used if I can. A lot of my books I buy used on Amazon because I'm not really that like pressed that certain ones I won't. This one I got, can I get it out? Yes. This one I got, this should be on my Booktube, but this is why I'm starting a Booktube channel. Turning to Stone, Discovering the Subtle Wisdom of Rocks. Colleen Ballinger reading this. She's taking time off YouTube to read this book. If Peter Mon's watching this, he's going to be laughing so hard right now. Okay, so I have a nephew who actually is a geologist, and he went to college to be a geologist. I'm going to actually pass this book on to my brother, who is that nephew's dad, and my nephew to see if they want to read it when I'm done with it, because I think they would both really like it. I got this at Barnes & Noble when my husband and I were there. With a geocentric worldview, we can see ourselves in miniature, part of a long lineage of creatures on a creative planet that has renewed itself for more than 4 billion years while keeping an idiosyncratic diary of its activities over time in the form of rocks. This lyrical wise book will change your relationship to the living earth. Marcia Bjornerud, I think that's how you pronounce it, offers a nuanced celebration of the languages of stone, from the subtle whispers of sand grains to the delightfully complex inner lives of mountains disclosed by eroding outcrops. Her careful attention not only reveals unexpected stories of stone, but also teaches us what it means to be boundlessly curious and caring about our world and one another. David George Haskell, biologist and author of Sounds Wild and Broken, The Songs of Trees and the Forest Unseen. So anyway, this sounds really, really cool. I just think it sounds interesting. I love like nature books and books about the earth, and especially with how they relate to us and how we relate to the earth, things like that. Speaking of, I have 3 books up here, but I want to show you guys this one. So this is the whole reason for this video, really, is this book right here. Nature's Palette. I am very excited about this book. A color reference system from the natural world. And this is a really interesting book. Now, how I heard about this is kind of funny and kind of strange, and it might make a little sense of why I got this. I'm trying to fix my tripod. I'm actually holding it so it doesn't fall over. So I've talked about the Dandelions company, cosmetics, and say independent indie makeup company, and it's handmade cosmetics. And he makes these really, really gorgeous little palettes. And some of them, the last one I got was the Venus Flytrap one, and it was all greens. It's really pretty. I'm going to be using that next week. I might even use it before then, but I'm definitely using it next week. It's going to be in my green palettes for St. Patrick's Day. It's one of my favorites in the handmade cosmetics, handmade eyeshadows, and I really, really love them. The amount of pigment and the blend and the shades, it's just, I don't know, it's very rewarding when I put his eyeshadows on. I really love them. He posted an Instagram where he had this book, and what he had done was he had the book laying on a counter, and he had taken his eyeshadow pans and laid them, the colors that were similar to these, out. And he thanked a friend of his for this book. And he said this book was a gift to him from one of his friends. And he said for his palettes, he's finding, in his company, he's finding so much inspiration in this book. And I thought, well, I love nature and I love inspiration and I love makeup. And how cool would it be to just kind of, if I'm ever feeling a little stuck, which I'm usually not with makeup anymore, but if I'm ever feeling a little stuck, maybe I can just flip to a random page and find a picture or something and say, this look is inspired by this bird right here, or something like that. And maybe I'll do like a little bit of reading from it or something or other. Anyway, it's kind of a coffee table book. It has really pretty illustrations in it, but wow, with 1,000 illustrations. So, and then there's like this page is all rocks. Let me read you the back though, because it's really interesting. It might not be what you think it is. First published in 1814, Verna's Nomenclature of Colors. Sorry, my nose is running. And I'm not editing this, so you get me with sniffles tonight. It's a taxonomically organized guide to color in the natural world, compiled by German geologist Abraham Gottlob Werner. The book was expanded and enhanced in 1821 by Patrick Syme, who added color swatches and further color descriptions. Nature's Palette makes this remarkable volume available to a new generation of readers, now fully enhanced with new illustrations of all the animals, plants, and minerals Werner referenced alongside each color swatch, with more than 1,000 color images featuring contributions by leading natural history experts. This is the ideal illustrated reference books for artists, naturalists, and anyone who is captivated by color. I am captivated by color. A lot of makeup people are captivated by color. So, I actually read some reviews of this book, but there are these really cool swatches like this, and then he has it matched up with what it is. Like, Okay, grass green, Scarabaeus nobilis, which is, it's a beetle. It's a scarab beetle. Duck green, neck of mallard. Sap green, underside of lower wings of orange tip butterfly. Pistachio green, neck of eider drake. So there, you get the idea. So he just finds like the colors of, here's plants, and then here's the swatches. So hydrangea preziosa, plum purple, yellow fern, gamboge yellow, poppies, a lot of poppies, poppy fern, red riding hood, tulip, scarlet red, sunflower, Dutch orange, dwarf peony, carmine red. So one of the things that I found really interesting about this was someone said in a review of it that it's interesting how muted the shades are. They're not like these crazy bright shades like we see in makeup palettes. They're very, very earthy and muted. This is cool too. There's a lot of pages that open into a trifold like this, which is pretty cool. So I think it'd be fun to take things like this and maybe do some depanning of some of my palettes, and maybe, take palettes apart and try to make, let's see if we can just flip to a random one, something that I might like to make. Oh, it seems to be also, okay, here's greens. So there's greens, right? So I think it's like, it goes by shades. Yep, here's purples. Okay, like here we go. I love my purples. So here's purples. So if I took a palette, like 2 or 3 palettes apart, and actually like what he did in the Dandelions Instagram picture, and laid them out like this and kind of made a palette and then did a look with it, I think it would be really fun. It doesn't have to be the entire swatch. I'm not doing like 15 shades in one eyeshadow look. So anyway, I thought this book was really cool. I got this on Amazon. It's a great coffee table book. It's a great reference book to just flip through. There is actually a lot of reading in it too. Lots of words. Lots and lots of words. Very wordy. I like the reds. See, now some of these reds would make really cool color stories. But when you look at the reds in here, it's reds and browns. They are very muted. So I got that one recently, and I very, very, very much love it. I'm very excited about that one. Oh my god, this book's so heavy. So yeah, I love my new bed because it, hand cream. My hands have been so dry. Because it is like my reading oasis. And then we have these really cool barn doors. These things roll and they go all the way across, so I can open these. But I usually just have it like this, and I sit up against here and got my tea. Over here right now I have my iPad, and I also have my notes. There's a whole bunch of books right here and notes. I'm going to be filling in my calendar because I have a lot of stuff to fill in for the next several weeks. Lots of stuff going on. Here comes Enid to steal my tea. I'm drinking tea right now. And my husband said, oh, once I got everything set up on my side, he goes, oh, look, you have room for all your stuff. I'm like, yep, I got my big water. My big purple water thing is actually over there by my light. I have the lights on either side of the bed like this with the shelves. Not really much on the shelves, my slippers. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to check in and say hey from the new bed. It's a king-size bed. It's humongous. And this is Ghost and Wren up here. They are Italian greyhounds that are on Instagram. They are doggy influencers on Instagram. And that is from the Target Cuddle collab. And I collect everything Italian greyhounds. So there's my Zero up in the window over there. And there is my big chaise. That is also another place that I like to sit and read. The chaise is like super comfy. And I see the dogs took all their dog toys up there, which is fine. Anyway, come on, Enid, what are you doing, baby? What you doing? Come on. Want to come say hi? Come here. Oh, there she is. Hello. Would you like to say hi to everyone? That's my ear. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Mommy's been very busy, hasn't she? I've not been spending enough time with you. I think Enid and I might go out tomorrow and go shopping. We've got to go to Pet Supplies Plus. You need some more kibbles. She's like, what now? Well, you do have a lot of kibbles, but you might need some more. Yeah? You don't say. Okay, Bug, you want to go under the covers? Okay, she's going to tunnel under the covers because that's her favorite thing to do. Anyway, yeah, I'm obsessed with this bed. It is super, super comfy. So the last thing I want to say about the bed, and then I'm going to be out of here because I don't want this to be too long. Enid, she's knocking over. She's right where I need to have the the tripod. This is the weirdest video ever. So the craziest thing about this bed, I just turned 56 in January, and this is the first brand new bed frame of my entire life. Like, and well, not the, no, not, wait, it's not the first. It's the first, I call it my first grown-up bed. Because when we first moved out here, I slept on, we actually just, my husband and I slept on the floor on a mattress because we were so broke when we moved out here. We couldn't even afford a bed frame. So, and when we moved, we couldn't really bring much because we could only afford to rent one little tiny truck. So we got rid of all of our furniture and said, we'll figure it out when we literally moved in with like no furniture, with a dining room table and one mattress and 4 dining room chairs that I pulled out of the garbage in Ferndale in Michigan. I dumpster dove those chairs. And then when we moved here, I went on Craigslist and I got a free recliner, and my friends gave me gift cards. They said, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, we need to at least get some kind of couch. So we did bring a futon out that somebody, I think Jamie, gave me. It was the futon that I had when I lived at Jamie's apartment when we were in the apartment on 2nd and on the Wade State campus. So I had my futon from there. Oh my God, it was crazy. Anyway, long story short, I've never had a really nice grown-up bed frame ever. The best we could do was, after things started getting a little bit better, we went to IKEA. There's not one close to here. The closest one is over 2 hours away. Drove all the way to IKEA and I got the Malm bed frame. It's a platform bed. And I had that Malm bed frame for, I want to say maybe 12 years, which is not good. And I had the mattress. I had the same mattress for 15 years. Actually longer than that, probably about 17 or 18. Anyway, yeah, it was horrible. My back was messed up. My husband was like, this is so uncomfortable. I'm like, I know, it's like, it was really causing actual health problems. I mean, my ankle, my back, my neck, everything was horrible. Sleeping on a mattress that is like well over a decade and a half old, do not recommend. So he got me the new mattress first. He's like, okay, let's get the new mattress. So we got that. And then it was still in the Malm bed frame. And I'm like, the Malm bed frame doesn't have a box spring or anything, but it also has those slats underneath. And the slats were just starting to move. And like, that thing was so old, the slats were just not, it was bad. Sometimes they were just like falling. Like I'd hear ka-chunk. One of the slats would slide and like fall out. It was bad. Anyway, and I said, this is just not good anymore. So for the day before Valentine's Day, he said, I'd found this bed online, and it was an online only at a local furniture place that we go to, that we got actually my chaise, and we got our couch downstairs and the couch in the living room at. And I said, oh my God, I'm in love with this bed. And it's like, I never wanted a bed frame because I couldn't find one okay, there's one I really liked. And he's like, absolutely not. It was like insane. It had ravens carved all into it. It was like excessive. It was very crazy. It was one of those goth ones that's all like all really cuckoo, and it's got all carvings and stuff. And I'm like, also, that's a dusting nightmare. I can't imagine how long it would take to dust that thing. Anyway, it's one of those things I saw on like Pinterest or something, and I looked it up, and this bed was like $16,000. I'm like, leave it to me to be the one bed I like in the world. Is like, it's like buying a car. I'm like, no. And I said, no, that would give me so much anxiety. It would be so dusty. Plus, it was like super fancy. It looked like it belonged in like a Dracula castle or something. But it's like, it didn't have places for my books and all that stuff. So I'm like, no. So I saw this bed, and I'm like, I really want this bed. I'm in love with this bed. It's really cool. It has everything I love. I love the, let me slide this guy closed. Ooh, ooh. Gotta move my pillow. Hold on. There we go. I don't want to fall into the bookcase in the middle of the night. He's probably waiting to come up here. I think I heard him. So, yeah, I just fell in love with this bed. And he's like, you know what? I couldn't go shopping for Valentine's Day. And even if I could, I have no idea what to get you anymore. He's like, put the bed in the cart, order the bed. And I'm like, really? Really? And he goes, yeah, order the bed. So I ordered the bed, and it said 2 to 4 weeks, and it arrived in 3 weeks and 2 days from when I ordered it. So it just got here this past Saturday, and I filmed them delivering it and bringing it in and putting it together. I was so excited, but I absolutely love it. But I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because now I never want to leave this bed. It's so comfortable. I am sleeping so well, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm not limping. I mean, I was literally, you guys, for like years and years, waking up in the morning and limping when I got out of bed. It would take me a while for all the kinks to get out of my back and my neck and my ankle and my knee, because everything's connected, right? So it's like my neck and back would be wonky. So then, depending on how I slept, my knee or my ankle would be messed up, or my left hip, depending if, and my mattress was never right. So, oh, it was terrible. For a while, my mattress was like higher at the back than it was at the front. Oh my God. You just don't realize, if you just have a really bad bed. So most of my life, I've had terrible beds, and I've always had trouble sleeping. And I always said I was an insomniac. And, and I don't think I was. I think I just had bad beds my whole life. So the running joke now, when I text people, or I was texting friends and family, I'm like, it only took me 56 years of life to like have a proper bed, but better late than never. I love this bed. It's a king size. It's huge because dogs. The weirdest thing to me is it's a platform bed, but it's a platform bed that has my mattress on top of it. And I have it's a really thick mattress. So I am like so high up off the ground, and I'm short. So I actually have a little thing next to the bed for me to step onto to get into the bed, because it's like really high. I feel like that story, The Princess and the Pea. I'm like way up here. But it is really cool. But oh my God. But it's a long way down. I told my husband, if you ever hear a big ka-chunk in the middle of the night, help me, because I probably fell out of the bed. My biggest fear is if I'm not feeling well and I forget that I have a new bed and I just like fall out of the bed, I'm going to break something. But no, I totally love this bed. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It has new bed smell, like the smell of this wood. Oh my God. It's so nice. My tea's getting cold. All right, my tea's getting cold, so I'm going to go, but it's my first vlog from the new bed. So I'm still working on like the Booktube thing. I have a couple of working names, but I don't know. If you have any ideas for my Booktube channel for names, let me know. But my Goodreads goal. So my goal for the year is to read 125 books. I have already read 21 books this year. I did 10 in January, and I did 10 in February. So if I do 10 a month, roughly I'm about there, but I know I'll probably overshoot. I will probably surpass that, because right now where's my phone? Uh-oh. I don't know where my phone went. One bad thing, this bed is so big. If I set my phone aside or move it. Wait, where's my phone? I'm recording on my phone. I might be tired. I'm like, where's my phone? I'm looking at it. I'm recording with it. I'm so used to, I'm using my tripod that my camera is always on, so I just assume this is my camera and my phone is in my hand. Wow, that is really confusing. I'm using the same tripod I always use for my camera. That's hilarious. Where's my phone? It's right there. I'm filming on it. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, yeah, I might be tired. It's getting late. I was up very early. I've been so busy around here. Filming, reading. Okay, so anyway, I do love to read though, and I can blast through easily a book in a day. On a day where we're just chilling. Like on Sunday, I went through an entire book on Sunday. The big thing is on Goodreads, and I'm doing some audiobooks and a lot of physical copy books. I have lots of physical copy books all over the place. That's actual reading. But I listen to audiobooks when I'm grooming dogs and I'm doing my job. And also when I'm cleaning, when I'm gardening, working outside, I'm going to be listening to audiobooks. But I will be sitting on the patio reading books, and I will be sitting outside with my husband reading books. He loves to read. So in the evenings, we usually read. I binge watched a bunch of shows, but when I'm not binge watching a series, I'm reading. I don't really watch TV. Um, I'll binge watch some series and then that's it. I went almost all of February without watching TV and almost all of January. Most of January and February, I didn't watch TV except for watching maybe 4 or 5 series that I binge watched they're either documentaries, mysteries, or like thrillers, suspense things. Tomorrow night, I'm watching the new Harlan Coben series that's coming on Netflix. I forgot what it's called. It's one word. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it's on Netflix tomorrow night. I'm going to watch that. And then I'm kind of out again. There's nothing I really want to watch. I've pretty much watched everything I want to. I'm just counting the time until Wednesday comes back. Anyway, so yeah, my Goodreads goal is 125 books this year. I am totally on target for that. I was looking for my phone because I have a notes in my notes app. I have a list of all of the books that I read in January, all the books I read in February, and I have a list of 14 books that I'm working on reading in March. Because it's going to be nicer outside, and I'm going to be able to sit in my sunroom and hopefully out on the patio. And I want the dogs to be outside and get a lot of air and be out in the yard a lot. It's the first year. It's going to be the first spring and summer we have a fenced yard that these guys can run around in and like just do laps and run around and lay in the sun, and all 4 of the dogs can come down. So I really want to spend a lot of time out there. And we have this gorgeous patio with like the chairs and the love seat and the couch, and I can just sit out there and read. And I have my hammock. Mostly I'm going to be reading in my hammock. The only bad thing about the hammock is it's hard for the dogs to jump in and out of, which might be a good thing. So yeah, if you're interested in what I read so far, reviews, what I liked, what I didn't like, on my Goodreads, I just wrote a scathing review of the book Beautiful Ugly because it just pissed me right off. I listened to it as an audiobook in one day. And the only reason I listened to it as an audiobook was because Richard Armitage read it. He was the narrator, and he's one of the guys who's in all of the Harlan Coben thrillers on Netflix. He's like a recurring actor in all of those. And I'm like, oh, I like him. It was like he was over dramatic. Richard Armitage, I love you, but he was so overacting the book that it was like made it even cheesier than it already was. Anyway, hated that book. I actually I did my summary of that book. I put it on my Goodreads. Then I saw a post on Reddit talking about that book, and all the people just, oh my God, it was brutal how much people hated it. So I said, well, I wish I would have read this Reddit thread on the book before I listened to this audiobook. But since I didn't, here's my summary because I think you guys will appreciate the anger and sarcasm in it. So I posted it on Reddit as well. So it's on my Goodreads, it's on my Reddit. It's the first book that I've reviewed on Goodreads all year. I just I will give all my Goodreads books like the stars, like 1 through 5. And but I just can't be bothered to sit and write full reviews of them. I will write a review of it if it's something that just really spoke to me. I was like, oh my God, this is freaking amazing. I love this. I mean, like mind blowing, mind changing, life changing book. I will write a review of or something I feel really strongly about. I felt really strongly about that. What's her name? Alice Feeney, who wrote it. I think that's her name. I think. Beautiful, Ugly. The characters were so unlikable to me that it was painful to get through the book. And even in the first chapter, Peter Mon said he didn't love it. I think he said his friend Tanya, I think it was Tanya, liked it, but he didn't love it. And I was writing to him in DMs. We were writing back and forth as I was getting through the book, and I said, I can see why you didn't like this, and it's the same reason I don't like it. And then I wrote him my review. I sent him that summary, and he was the first person who probably saw it because it was after that I put it on my Goodreads and on Reddit. And I said, I think I really should start a really sarcastic, brutally honest book review channel, like a Booktube channel. And he says, yes, you absolutely should. And I'm like, oh, if Peter Mon says I should start a Booktube channel, maybe I should start a Booktube channel. And I read a lot of the books he reads, and I get a lot, and I send him books all the time. I just sent him a couple. There's one, oh crap, I can't get to it. It's over there. It's a book about birds, and it's like birds, like it. Oh, it's this bottom one, right? Right, that white one on the bottom, right there. That one, I'm going to be reading that. The other two above it, I'm going to be reading those. So there's, I mean, right up here, just there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books just up here. Then there's this whole thing. Actually, I don't know if you guys saw it, but in here is the entire collection of the Miss Peregrine's books. I saw the movie. I never read the books. So I started reading the first one, but I'm reading through all those. I'm also reading the whole Discovery of Witches Book of Life series. I'm through book 2 now. So I did one in January, I did one in February, so now I'm doing book 3 in March. So I'm reading through the whole, because I watched Discovery of Witches on Netflix, and I freaking loved it. Oh my God, I loved it. So good. If you have not watched a Discovery of Witches on Netflix, highly recommend. The weirdest thing is the book, and it's exactly the same. Book 1 and 2, I mean, it's like they didn't cut anything out. They didn't change anything. There is one character that they really expanded him in the Netflix thing, and I feel like in the books, I think I'm going to be missing him a lot. I only know this because I read some posts on Reddit about it. Anyway, I should save that for my Booktube channel. This is getting very long. So thanks for watching the the vlog from the first vlog from the new bed. But yeah, my working title is, like, I really want some kind of title for my Booktube channel that goes along with like being outside reading, because most of my reading this year is going to be done outside. I have a giant rock outside that I love to sit on that rock and read. So my original, like, stupid joke Booktube, my working title is like Books Rock Reviews or something like that, or Book Rock Reviews or something like that. I don't know. Because I love that big rock, and I love sitting on that big rock and reading. I did that last summer. So I kind of want to sit on that rock when I do reviews and film on that rock, because it's a rock that's the size of a Volkswagen Bug. It's a Volkswagen Beetle. Like, that rock is that big. And I like sitting on top of it, and there's a tree right behind it. So I'm under, and I love this way the sunlight comes through the leaves. I can sit on that tree, under the tree on the big rock, and the woods are in the background. I can do book reviews and read and talk about books. And that's just joy, pure joy. I'm so excited to do that, because it's like my happy place. And I've never shared it online or shared it, but I'm like, oh, I've been here 5 years, and I said I wanted to wait And I'm like, I don't want to start a second channel right away. I wanted to really just focus on this. But I got a pretty good vibe going, and I'm really happy with where this channel is and where it's going. And I'm not doing book reviews on here. You guys already are probably like, just do makeup. But I know a lot of you like the vlogs and the makeup and the reviews and all that. But I've always debated, should I go the way of like what Peter Mon did and have separate channels for everything, where I have a review channel and I have like a dog channel and I have a Booktube channel, and I don't know. And then, this channel is just basically like makeup and like kind of like very smoky glow here with chattiness, some vlogs, and mostly makeup. Mostly makeup and some vlogs and some chatty get ready with me's. That's kind of what I really am feeling I want to keep here. But I do like just throwing a review in every once in a while too. I don't know if I want to start, I don't feel like I want to start a whole separate channel just to review candles or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun to do it here because to me, like all of my creativity and everything, it's all kind of connected. Like it sounds weird maybe, but like opening candles and the things in my home or things that I review, it's like that all is part of me that fuels my creativity to do makeup and to do the other things I do. So I feel like it's all connected, It's all connected. So that's why I kind of like doing that all together. But yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thoughts, books, reading. Where's my book people at? I mean, it's probably Booktube is a huge thing and it's been going on forever. So to come into it new is going to be weird. I think the only thing that I'll have that's maybe different than most people is I'll be sitting outside. And a lot of my books are like you saw, like the nature books. I love books about the natural world. I love books about animals and plants, fiction and nonfiction. I have very niche kind of taste in books. I don't read a lot of like big bestseller things. I am, because of the Goodreads challenges. I'm getting through these Goodreads challenges. Oh my God, I wish my phone was not the thing I'm using to film, because there's a book that I'm going to be reading that I think you guys might actually be interested in, because it's going to have a makeup aspect to it. So I am going to talk about that book and do a makeup look, kind of maybe inspired by it. But I think it's called How to Be a Renaissance Woman. But it's a historical book about what it was like to be a woman in the Renaissance. And they talk about the clothing and the makeup and what it was like to live as a day-to-day woman in Renaissance times. And I'm like, I love historical books, love history. That's why I liked Interview with the Vampire, when I think, and Mayfair Witches by Anne Rice. I loved those because they went through all these like times in history, like when Lestat was talking about, all the times he lived through, and the Mayfair Witches going through all the generations and all that. I love things like that. So, and I know I talked about books in a couple other videos and people suggested books to me. So if you do ever want to suggest books that you think I might like, throw them below. I have some biographies I'm reading, autobiographies. I love biographies and autobiographies. I love books on history, but I'm weird about them. Like certain things in history I'm really into. I have a couple of books on my reading list that are like, one is all the goddesses in Greek mythology. I don't do a ton of women's literature reading, but for some reason, I have a lot of them on my to read list this year. So I think what I'm going to do going forward also is I love that I have my January list, my February list. I already have a list of 14 books to try to get through in March, and possibly more. I don't know. But like I said, I can read through a book a day. I remember back in the day when the Harry Potter books came out, and that was all the rage. And you would go wait in line. Remember, the new one would come out and you go wait in line and whatever. I would get it. I remember when I think Deathly Hallows came out, was it like Deathly Hallows or the one, I don't know. Anyway, the last three Harry Potter books when they came out, we went to Borders because Borders was still open. My hubby and I went to Borders together. He got into them too, and he's read all of them. So I would come home with the novel and I would just lay on the couch when I wasn't working. I remember I would take a day off. I took a day off when Deathly Hallows was released, the last book. And I remember being in Ferndale and sitting in our living room, and I was on the couch. I was laying on the couch reading, and I was like, don't talk to me. I'm not answering the phone. I literally stayed up. I read that book cover to cover in one go. Like in one go. And if you know that book, it's like that thick. I have it somewhere. The it's downstairs because we also have a whole bookshelf downstairs. So in our movie room. But yeah, I have the one that I got at Borders in Birmingham on Woodward in Michigan. And yeah, I remember those just sitting and reading them cover to cover. And I would just keep reading, and then I'd fall asleep reading all the time. I would just start like dozing off. Then I'd wake up and be like, where was I? Where was I? So yeah, that's my biggest problem is falling asleep while I'm reading at night. I like to read, like I get the dogs fed, I get everything done. And if I have a break, I usually read throughout the day also. So I don't have one big long time that I read. I'll read a little bit, then I'll do stuff, then I'll read, then I'll do stuff, then I'll read. And it kind of breaks up the day and it keeps me going because I love to read. So it keeps me kind of motivated somehow. It really ekes into other parts of my life too, like that nature's palette, whatever book. I really want to read that book and play with like these color palettes and these ideas of color in nature and do that with like makeup. Like makeup looks inspired by that book, which I think would be a really fun crossover thing for like the Booktube and doing this also. I'm like, I always wanted to do makeup looks inspired by the books I'm reading. And since I'm doing this Goodreads challenge, I'm the How to Be a Renaissance Woman one. I definitely want to talk about that book here because it does go into all the crazy poisonous Renaissance makeup. Uh, Robert Walsh and his brother James did a thing on that. They did the history of makeup and they were like making the crazy things to make makeup for like Victorian and all that stuff. So it's really scary, but I'm looking forward to learning more about that. That'll be fun. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, but it's been nice chatting with you from the bed. And back to makeup tomorrow. So tomorrow makeup, I loved doing it's my phone charger, in case you're wondering what that is. I loved doing that defunct makeup look, defunct makeup brands look. If you missed it, it was all brands that are like not in business anymore. And it was a collab I did with Maddie and Mare on Instagram. So if you haven't watched that, check it out. I loved doing that. That was really fun. I gotta say, I watched it back and I'm like, that was one of my first videos where I like loved everything about that video. I had so much fun making it. I had fun talking about the brands and kind of like strolling down memory lane with some of these older palettes. So I really do want to pick out. I actually did. I went out and I picked out like some of my old palettes, like really old. And I'm like, you know what? We got to start playing with some of these old palettes. It's kind of fun just to like reminisce and chit chat and reminisce about these older palettes and everything. And that palette works. Casper's dreaming. That little, oh, that was him. He's under the blanket. His legs are sticking out and the blanket's moving. It's so cute. Yeah, so I loved doing that. I'm so excited about so much stuff over here. And now my creativity is just kind of, and the reading has brought this whole other level to it. It's like, it's kind of really opening things up for me, doing all the reading. And I think the more I do things that I missed, like playing music and reading, once you get your creative juices flowing, they're flowing. Like they are flowing. So many ideas. I have my books and my calendars over here. I'm going to be filling these out tonight before I go to sleep and filling in what I'm doing for the rest of the week. I have makeup collabs the next 2 days. So that's going to be fun. I'm really excited about all the ideas for the makeup collabs this month. I'm excited for the St. Patrick's Day looks next week. That's going to be fun just because, I love green. I love green makeup. I'll be doing green every day next week. Green makeup every day. Why don't we call it 7 days of green? 7 days of green makeup. If you don't like green, it will not be your week. I'm sorry. We'll do goth green. We'll do earthy green. We could do like just every kind of green makeup. I'm going to pull out all my green lip shades. I don't know, maybe not. Oh, some of them. I'm going to pull out my favorite green lip shade. I have a green palette that I never used. That's a notoriously morbid one. And I've never used it. I'm afraid to use it because it's like the seal is broken. And then I have to use it. But it's one of my favorites. It's so pretty. But I think it might be, it's got green and gold in it. It might be the ultimate St. Patrick's Day palette. Nomad has a new palette coming out next Tuesday, I believe. Well, it'll drop at midnight on Monday night, going into Tuesday, I believe is when they do it. And so far, it's based on like Cinderella and this castle in Spain that inspired Walt Disney. They're doing a guessing game on Nomad Cosmetics on Instagram. If you want to try to win the palette, they have a crossword puzzle, and they're doing clues every day. I think there's 4 clues. So there's still a couple more left. The way you win, though, they're not going by individuals. They're only going to judge by the last day you put in. You have to have all of the clues right or guess the theme, like the name of the palette, like the theme. So far, the first 2 clues I know I got nailed because I'm doing the crossword puzzle. But I think they're giving away like 8 palettes or something to people who get it right. So if you're interested in that, if I win, cool. If I don't, I might not get that palette just because it's looking princessy. It's looking Disney princessy. I'm sorry. Have we met? Do I look Disney princessy to you? Oh my God, you guys never see all my tattoos, right? Yes, tattoos everywhere. So this is a first, huh? Seeing all the tattoos. So this is Tippy, and this is Cairo, and this is Voodoo over here. And my tarot card of the moon is here. This is my personality card. This is one of the first tattoos I got. The very first tattoo I ever got is this little ankh right here. It's hidden in Cairo's wing. I had it integrated into kind of over his heart. And that was my first tattoo ever. It was $15 in Ypsilanti, Michigan. 15 bucks. When I was, oh my God. Casper's being adorable. Okay, he's like, Mom, get off of here now. All right. I'm watching the time. I'm so close to an hour that I feel like if I don't do an hour, I'll be like, that was dumb. What is wrong with me? I should just do an hour. So I think I'm just waiting to do an hour. So now you're stuck with me for an hour instead of 30 minutes. An hour in my bed with me. 59 seconds. No, I'm just counting. Now it's a vlog of count down the time with me until we hit an hour. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have not, please consider subscribing because that would really help me out a lot. I don't know what the struggle bus is with subscribers is for me. I know I make good content. I know I'm not an ass. I'm not a jerk. I'm not a liar. Is that why I don't have subscribers? Because I'm actually like a nice person who's honest. I think people only like sucky people. Like the majority, like the millions of subscriber people, like they suck. They're bad people. I don't want to have to resort to being a bad person to get a lot of subscribers here, but maybe I will. No, I won't. Anyway, thank you for watching. Welcome to the bed. Let's talk below. Tell me books. Tell me if you have book ideas, booktube names, anything like that. And I will see you with a face full of makeup and clean hair and not in my pajamas tomorrow. And I'm hopefully it's going to be warm out tomorrow, so I am planning on filming. I was going to film my makeup look for tomorrow today, but it's supposed to be 56 degrees and raining outside. I promised you guys that I was going to film outside in the rain because I can sit under the awning, you know, the thingy, so I won't get wet. And you can hear the rain while I'm doing my makeup. I'm dying. I'm dying to do that. I want to do my I want to do my makeup outside in a thunderstorm, sitting outside on my patio under the little cover because you can hear all the pitter patter. It'll be like ASMR rain sounds and makeup. Then I won't have to talk when I do my makeup. Let's let you guys listen to the rain. Okay, see you in the next one. See you tomorrow. Bye.